Greetings of the day, everyone. Welcome to another exciting meeting of Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs 2.0. I'm your Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting, and it's been a pleasure to greet you on a Sunday morning or a Saturday evening. Today, we have Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abdul Rahman, who is going to talk to us on how to build a startup. Let us all welcome him and listen to his ideas. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Kalpana. Steve Jobs once remarked, "We are here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why else even be here?" Entrepreneurs leave a positive mark on many people's lives. They bring about a revolutionary change that benefits the mankind. Fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. My name is Muhammad Abdul Rahman, and I'm honored and excited to be the Toastmaster of today's meeting. Once again, I welcome you all to the Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs 2.0 meeting. I request you all to switch on your cameras so that we can have an interesting and interactive meeting. Okay, thank you. Now, let's dive into today's theme of the meeting. Put it in another way, launching a startup without quitting your current job. For many professionals, starting your own business means leaving your job and your company behind. But many of the smartest professionals continue their job and parallelly they start their own entrepreneurship journey. And I would think that you should keep both. The combination teaches you more and faster than would otherwise be possible, and enables you to custom craft a career that's uniquely interesting and meaningful. Let's delve deeper into this in a short while. Meantime, let me now take you to our regular Toastmasters meeting. For the benefit of the guests, today's meeting consists of 4 segments. In a usual Toastmasters meeting, there are 3 segments. The first one is prepared speeches, where we have 2 wonderful speakers enthralling us with their speeches. The second one is a special session exclusively in Toastmasters for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs, and this is an elevator speech by an entrepreneur and which will be evaluated by 3 accomplished Toastmasters. The third one is a very interesting table topics session where guests and members will get an impromptu speaking opportunity. The fourth segment is evaluation, where a team of evaluators will evaluate all the speeches. To help me smoothly conduct the meeting, I have a team to keep an eye on the meeting. I now would like to request the timer for today's meeting, distinguished Toastmaster Kalpana, to explain her role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Today, I am going to watch you on over your time. Whenever any speaker who is sharing the virtual dais will take the minimum amount of time, I will raise a green card in my background. Let me share one sample. You will see a green card whenever any speaker is coming to the minimum time that they have to consume. And you will see a yellow card displayed as my virtual background whenever you have surpassed the minimum time, and you will see a red card raised when a speaker has completed its maximum time for the stage. You will have to ensure you are ending your speech by 5 minutes, and at the end of the meeting, I'll come back with my timer report. Until then, I would like to request everyone to be watchful on the time you are utilizing. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Kalpana, for the explanation of the timer role. The second role in the team is our counter. Can I now ask Toastmaster Harsha to introduce his role? Toastmaster Harsha.
I think Harsha has some technical challenges and he's not able to join. We might have
Okay.
to skip.
Can somebody volunteer for the counter role? Okay. All right. Colonel Tarun, could you please explain the counter role? You're on mute, Colonel Tarun.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters, today I'm going to check and ensure that how many R's, O's, and all those kinds of sounds when we are looking for how to bridge the gap, how to fill that void. And that is something which is so unnecessary and something that we ensure that you get over. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Colonel Tarun. I believe you're taking the role of the grammarian as well, which is the English teacher. Could you also please explain this role?
As grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language use. I'll also be ensuring that you don't murder this language, English, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts which make an impact, inspire us. It is also my job to introduce the word of the day. And the word of the day today is passion. This is something entrepreneurs are so intensely involved with. I'll be sharing the meaning of this word on the chat counter. I would encourage each and every one of you to use passion in its varied forms. And at the end of the meeting, I'll give the word of the day report and the grammatical usage report when called upon. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Colonel Tarun, for your passionate Toastmastership and explanation of the grammarian role. We are now going to start the first segment of the educational session called the prepared speeches. The first speaker for today's meeting is Toastmaster Nisarji. Before I invite Toastmaster Nisarji to deliver his icebreaker project, I would like to invite his speech evaluator, Toastmaster Sravanti, to read out the speech objectives of Toastmaster Nisar. Toastmaster Sravanti.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Is my voice clear?
Yes, you are absolutely clear.
I'm Toastmaster Sravanti from SWEC Speech Weavers, and I'm today acting as the evaluator for my speaker, Nisar, and he's giving his icebreaker today. And the purpose of his speech is the project for the member is to introduce himself to the club and learn the basic structure of your public speech. I wish you all the best, my speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sravanti. Toastmaster Nisar, are you able to see the timer screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Toastmaster Nisar, positive hustling. Positive hustling, Toastmaster Nisar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abdul. Greetings of the day. Positive hustlers, entrepreneurs, distinguished Toastmaster, other Toastmasters, and dear guests. Tell me, how many of you hustle for your dreams and aspirations? If you can raise your hands. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the affirmation. See, I have been pursuing my dream since past almost 39 years. And against the wish of my parents, I chose to use experience as my teacher. I ventured out into doing multiple businesses, multiple companies. I also take pride in talking to Abdul Rahman ji that when I first ventured out, I was doing a job, but I was so passionate about doing something on my own that I felt I should dive in immediately. I was not willing to wait. So let me give you a gist of what I have been doing. So past 33 years, I have set up almost 12 odd companies. 5 of them were either in the form of a proprietorship or a private limited. And the rest 7 were more or less startups, which ran anywhere in the range of 12 months to 2 years. The number of people that were working with me on these particular projects were anywhere in the range of about 5 to maximum 21. While I can speak about so many companies of mine, let me only talk about one. Otherwise, too much passion overflow would not do good for this particular speech. So let's start with a company called Design Tells that you see on my background. What I would like to do is I would like to show you the way we got customers, a very simple way of doing things. I'll just show you my visiting card that you can see. It has a cut in it. Yeah? So Design Tells, if you see that, the color will change. So we touch your senses using ours. That was a simple, small motto that we had. And literally, all those people who are passionate about design and appreciate this particular concept, it automatically gave us business. What I would like to do is, I would like to just show you 2 small projects which will give you an insight into the kind of work that we have been doing. While we run this as a multidisciplinary design studio, these 2 projects were more or less game changers for us to become a multidisciplinary design studio. So I would like to request the TMoD to allow me to share my screen.
You should be able to share your screen.
Sure. Thank you, Rahman. So that's Design Tells. We're into visualization, ideation, and implementation. Somehow this is not moving. Is there a, yeah, there you are. Okay. Okay, you can see the whole screen of mine. Okay, thanks. So this was a packaging project which we got from Dubai. This was our first export project, and it was truly global in nature, as in the owners of this particular brand called Kopasi were from South Africa. The owners were Lebanese. The product was South African. The consultant was in Dubai. I was the designer here in India, and the packaging, printing, and the manufacturing was done in China. So as you can see, we were given a project wherein we were to design something, and this was truly global in nature. And we got our first opportunity to work globally. We had a contract of about 6 odd packagings. Okay. Okay, this is one more packaging wherein this is done for Hewlett Packard. This was their export packaging for what do you call? Every laptop or every computer has a fan in it. I forget the name, but I think it's a sink fan. I think it reduces heat of the CPU. So this was an export packaging. Is where we got to work with HP, that is Hewlett Packard. I believe all of us are hustlers in our own way of showing our love for the work that we do. We are great entrepreneurs, and I wish all the best to all of us to keep on hustling and keep on doing interesting things that give us a lot of happiness. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nisar, for your passion for entrepreneurship, and it is really infectious. I request all the members and guests to share their feedback on Toastmaster Nisar's private chat. Thank you. The second speaker of today is Toastmaster Gopal Krishnan. Before I invite Toastmaster Gopal to deliver his project, I would like to invite his speech evaluator, Toastmaster Suresh, to read out the speech objectives. Toastmaster Suresh.
Thank you, Abdul. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and a special good morning to TM Gopal Krishnan. Today, TM Gopal Krishnan is going to deliver his L3P3 speech, and the speech title is "Nothing is Impossible If We Endure." The purpose of the speech is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Timer, can you please note down the time for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. And I wish you all the best, TM Gopal Krishnan. Sorry, TM Gopal Krishnan. Over to you, TMoD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suresh. Toastmaster Gopal, can you see the timer screen?
I'm seeing a background. Yeah, I can see.
Okay, great. Thank you. Toastmaster Gopal, nothing is impossible if we endure. Nothing is impossible if we endure. Toastmaster Gopal.
नन्हा मुन्ना राही हूँ, देश का सिपाही हूँ, बोलो मेरे संग, जय हिंद, जय हिंद, जय हिंद. I'm sure most of you must have sung this song at least once in your life, in your school days. The week gone by saw India mark its 74th Republic Day. This year was the Republic Day parade was about a spectacular display of made in India weapons, increasing role of Nari Shakti in armed forces. The Egyptian president Fath al-Sisi was the chief guest, and it was also the first Republic Day parade for Madam Draupadi Murmu. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. As a child, I was passionate about watching the flying fighter planes over the sky and the movement of army vehicle on the road. I attended Kendriya Vidyalaya Silchar, where my father was posted. As a class 1 or 2 student, I attended Republic Day parade of Army cantonment. At such a very young age, I decided to join armed forces. Their discipline, sense of duty, the respect which they command from the civilians like us were too much for me. In class 3, my father was transferred to Patna and I joined Kendriya Vidyalaya Patna. Around October end, one day after school hour, when we were waiting for the bus, I noticed some seniors were staying back in the main assembly area. I asked my elder sister why they are staying back. She told me they are NCC cadet And from today, they are starting their practice for 26th January parent. Oh my God. They are preparing for March Pass the same way which I witnessed in Silchar. Can I become part of this group? I hurriedly approached the instructor. The instructor said me, come and join NCC when you are in class 7. Oh, 4 years of long wait. Somehow I finally reached class 7 without being detained in any class. At that time, a school used to detain some weaker students. Thankfully, I could clear my classes. In October month, I approached the instructor and I was told to come for the test in the evening. At evening, full of excitement, I was standing in the queue for my test. I completed my mock drill along with other aspirants. After 15 minutes of drill, the instructor make us stand in 2 rows, left one and right one. I was in left row. After 2 minutes, in his baritone voice, the instructor announced, those standing in left may go home. Go home? Go home? What it means? It means not selected. A terse reply come from a senior. It means not selected. How it can happen? Next morning, I approached the instructor. I told me, your steps were not in sync with other cadets. No, not selected, no hope for this year. Come next year. Got the advice, come next year. For a 7th standard student, it was too much, kind of heartbreak. After 2 days, I stood up and started practicing on my own. I started practicing along with the cadets from far distance. For full 1 year, I was practicing on my own. And the next October, I was again there for the test. I got selected, got the chance to be part of 26th January parade. In April, we were selected for 7 days outstation NCC camp. We were made to practice day in, day out. 2 days before the trip, my instructor called me and said, Gopal, you are appointed deputy commander of the trip. Deputy commander of the trip. Can't believe what has happened in 1 year. From being rejected to being appointed a deputy commander of the troop. That troop was consisting of many seniors who were in class 11 and 12. At that time, I was in class 8 only. God, you are great. That is the word which I could utter at that time. Persistence is the key. Nothing is impossible if we endure. How many of you agree? Nothing is impossible. As an entrepreneurs, many times we fail. As the first speaker was telling us, he has started 12 business. Many times he must have faced some difficulties. But had he withdrawn, today he would not have been here to share his story. Is it true, sir? Yeah. So this lesson, which I learned hard during my childhood, has still been a guiding force on me for my journey. Hold on. I approached DTM Raghu for a speech slot. Got response, slot taken. I opted for timer show. DTM Kalpana knows this. And at the same time, I was preparing for my speech also. Today, I am before you with my speech. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gopal Krishnan, for the patriotic speech, and really you make me feel that my India, my pride. Thanks for the passionate speech. Dear members and guests, kindly share the feedback on Toastmaster Gopal's private chat. We will now move to the elevator pitch speech. I would now request the elevator pitch speaker, guest Salil Abdul Qadir, to present his pitch. Is Salil in the meeting?
I think he's not there. Can we proceed with the meeting? I'll check and come back. Maybe
Okay, great. Let me take you back to the theme of the meeting, keeping the current job while pursuing your entrepreneurship dream. I see there are 5 reasons to simultaneously pursue both, and I see there are 5. The reasons for that are: failure can benefit your career, I believe, when you're making the binary choice about entrepreneurship. Should I quit my job to start my own business? The financial consequences of failure can be devastating. But when you have the safety net of income from your job, you can treat entrepreneurship as a learning journey. This is what I have done. Even if the venture fails, you have still gained valuable skills that can enhance your career. Secondly, you will have more time to validate your business idea. In the entrepreneurial world, the most important initial goal is to find a product market fit. So this is, I believe, one of the challenging tasks, is to identify the right audience and the right offering that they will pay for. This process can take quite a while, and without other sources of income, your clock will be ticking loud and fast. But without immediate financial pressure, you can take the time to truly understand your customer and their needs, leading to a far better and more successful product. Third, you can more easily stake out premium position in marketplace. When you are dependent on your business to generate revenue, you will often have to accept low-paying or undesirable gigs. But if money isn't your primary object at first, you can be far more selective to avoid low-margin work or questionable clients that could taint your brand later on as you move forward. Finally, you can fund your valuable professional development for yourself. In the early days of an entrepreneurial venture, professional development funds are always in short supply. All funds go towards creating or marketing the new product. In this situation, keeping your day job will help a lot. Well, with this, we would move to the second segment of our educational session called the table topics. To conduct this session, please help me welcome Toastmaster Rela Lumbini to conduct the table topics session. Toastmaster Rela.
Thank you for the introduction, Toastmaster Abdul Rahman. I hope I'm audible and visible.
Yes, you are audible, visible.
Thank you. Greetings to fellow Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the table topics session. Table topics is one of the best way to practice thinking, organizing, speaking on our free, or in other words, I'd say impromptu speaking. I'm Rela Lumbini, and as your table topic master, I will be asking questions related to our three. Your response must be at least 1 minute and can no more than be 2 minutes. You would be seeing a green signal after 1 minute, which is the minimum time, and a yellow signal at 1 minute 30 seconds, and a red signal at 2 minutes. I encourage you to use the word of the day, passion. And I also encourage all the guests and Toastmasters to take part in the segment. So let's get started. Who wants to be first?
Hi, Toastmaster Rela. I can go first, but I can't switch on the camera. Is that okay? Because I'm a bit under the weather.
Yeah, sure. There is
Thank you.
completely fine.
Thank you.
Can you please pick a number from 1 to 10?
5.
5. Amit, chasing rainbows, which means to follow your dreams, trying to do something that can be achieved. Chasing rainbows, Amit.
Well, as a kid, some of you might have done this, which I definitely did. Ask my parents to fetch me the moon. As a kid, nothing is impossible. We dream of becoming superstars. We dream of becoming political leaders, military men. So there is no limitation to our dreams as kids. But what happens to us when we grow up? We start putting these barriers in front of our dreams and visions and aspirations. And we limit ourselves in thinking the possibilities that we can reach in our life. Chasing rainbows, that is something which we should always aspire for, irrespective of how illogical it may seem. Could somebody have imagined 200 years back that we would speak to each other based in different cities in different countries, and we can see each other and talk to each other? That nobody could have envisioned 200 years back. Or could we have even imagined that we can fly from India to the US, which is thousands of miles away, in less than a day? So my dear friends, I would urge you all to continue chasing your rainbows. You never know, you will never find out what is achievable and what is not unless you make an attempt. Don't stop yourself from dreaming big. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amit. Let's move to the next topic. Anyone want to volunteer to speak?
Toastmaster Colonel has raised his hand. Colonel Tarun has raised his hand.
Yeah.
9.
Toastmaster Tarun, can you please check if you can see the timer cards?
Just a minute. I can.
Yeah. And the number you picked must be 9.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Toastmaster Tarun, what prepares you better for entrepreneurship, a job or a business school? What prepares you best for an entrepreneurship, a job or a business school? Toastmaster Tarun.
What prepares me best for entrepreneurship is my mindset. I don't get inspired by staying in a job or getting into a world-class business school. What has taught me what I am today is how I learn from the experience of others, and at the same time, how my experience gets related to the passion in which I want to explore opportunities. Toastmaster of the day and fellow Toastmasters, most of the time, we are all bothered about what kind of stamp we have, under whose tutelage we are growing. Do we have the right environment? Unfortunately, most of us are not focusing on our attitudes and beliefs. Entrepreneurs are passionate people who have this dream of making world a better place for coming generations. They are addressing the pain points which most of the people, they observe on a daily basis. However, they do not have the wherewithal or the courage to tinker with the possibility of finding a better solution. Take the example of Uber. As youngsters, how many times we used to walk up to the taxi stand, and then somebody came up with this idea, why can't we have a car, a cab, where I am standing? And it has revolutionized the whole concept of entrepreneurship. Today, people talk about Uberization as a big disruption model. So my fellow Toastmasters, I urge you, and my advice to each and every one of you aspiring to become a kind entrepreneur is, don't limit yourself, be limitless. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
That was a wonderful insight on the topic. And next, I would like to call Virendra Nimalkar.
Sure.
Can you please check the timer cards if they are visible to you, Virendra?
Oh, for now, no. Yeah. Okay. Yep. It is green. All right. I can see that.
Yeah. Please pick a number from 1 to 10, except 5 and 9.
3.
3. Virendra, through these rapid changing times, will the line "better late than never" still hold a value? Through these rapidly changing times, will the line "better late than never" still hold a value? Virendra.
Can you please repeat the topic?
Through these rapidly changing times, will the line "better late than never" still hold a value?
Perfect. Thank you. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm Virendra Nimalkar, and I really believe that value has changed with a changing time. And are we really holding the values that was there in the past? The question or stigma always bothers me, because we as the children always used to respect our elders. We always used to respect our time, our resources. But are the children who are the Gen Z, are they justifying the time or the resources that they have got, or the value that they hold per se? I've seen my child getting disrupted with the thought because she has access to social media, which then again creates whole lot of no it makes a person or child thinks differently. Are we really holding to the values? Because I believe when we as a children used to think about the elders, we always had respect in our minds. We always respected the time or the money per se. But these days, are the children also finding the happiness in small things? Are they cherishing the every moment that they get across, the achievement that they get in their lives? I think value is changing with the change in technology, change in the mindset, change in the time. And I think the people like Nisarg Sir, Toastmaster Tarun, Toastmaster Gopal, we can inspire children with our words and keep the value up, keep the value high with the changing time. So thanks a lot. Rila.
That was amazing, Virendra. And
Thank you.
next, we have Srinivas Doppalapudi. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct.
It's Doppalapudi, Rela. Thank you.
Doppalapudi.
Nice.
Mr. Srinivas, can you please check with the timer cards if you are able to see them?
Yep, I can see. Thank you.
Choose a number from 1 to 10 and leave out 5, 10, and 3. 5, 9, and 3.
Let me go with 6.
6. 6. Srinivas, one area in your business where you have an edge over your competitors. One area in your business where you have edge over your competitors, Srinivas.
Okay. Thank you so much for a nice topic, Rela. One area in my business where I have edge over my competitors is the analytical skills I have gained over a couple of years, or rather more than a decade of my experience. What I attained with my experience, at least I feel so, even if not implemented these skills in coming up with any product as of now. But what I think is I am good at the analytical skills, the projections, the project viability, product viability, and estimating the product, the life, and the implementation, and the reachability and the usability of the product. So I am, since we are good at these analytical skills, these things fetch a lot of gain to my product or the competitors. Thank you so much for a nice topic, Rela. Back to you.
Anyone else want to volunteer? We can still go with one more speaker.
I would like to participate.
Toastmaster Rela, we have 2 people who have requested, Toastmaster Lydia and Madhijas. We can go for both.
Okay. I would like to go with the Toastmaster Lydia first.
Okay.
Toastmaster Lydia, can you check with the timer cards?
I can see.
Yeah. Toastmaster Lydia, choose a number from 1 to 10 and leave out 3, 6, 9, and 5.
Number 8, please.
Number 8. Toastmaster Lydia, they say entrepreneurship is easier said than done. They say entrepreneurship is easier said than done. Toastmaster Lydia.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Is entrepreneurship easier said than done? That's actually a very interesting question. It's an interesting question because when becoming an entrepreneur, you have to think of a product that would appeal to a specific clientele. You have to know how the best way to bring it to that clientele. And you also have to figure out how to scale your business so that as you succeed, you can continue to ensure the success of your business. On the other hand, if you find that your product is not going well over to the clientele, then you have to also figure out how you can adjust your product so that it no longer fails, but actually appeals. So entrepreneurship is something that is very challenging because it's always a matter of trying and adjusting and trying and adjusting to see whether or not you can actually succeed. And then once you do succeed, you can never be complacent. You always have to keep going on and expanding and ensuring that you have something that appeals to the market so that you can always stay successful. Thank you for the question. Back to you. Madam Topics Master.
That was wonderful, Toastmaster Lydia. I would like to request Muhammad Ayaz to select a topic. You can choose the numbers from 1 to 10 and leave out 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9.
I'll go with 7.
Mr. Ayaz, can you please check with the timer cards?
Yes, I can. Yes, I checked.
Muhammad Ayaz, to what extent thinking outside the box is going to help a rookie with no experience? To what extent thinking outside the box is going to help a rookie with no experience? Muhammad Ayaz.
Okay, thank you, Miss Leela. That was a nice topic, and it was related to my present situation also. Okay, so basically what is happening in my life, I just graduated in 2022 in civil engineering. So what I found is, if you are in comfort zone and if you are not thinking out of the box, you will be behind the people. So now, after completing my graduation, it has been 1 year almost. And since 1 year, I was not thinking out of the box and I was being in the comfort zone. I was hoping for something to happen, and I was not able to do anything. So now, but at some point, I realized that nothing is going to be happen if I don't put my efforts. So now, when I think out of the box, let's say when I start thinking out of the box, when I start thinking to go out, and when I thinking to go out and meet people and learn and explore my field, then I start gaining knowledge. So since 2 weeks, I'm going to a client, I'm going to an engineer, and I'm learning a lot from them, and he is also encouraging me to think out of the box and think, and he has also told me to think big and always create the way, not only the one, always create so many ways that you can go and you can walk. So with this, I would like to conclude this topic. Thank you, Miss Reela.
That was wonderful, Muhammad Ayaz. Now, let us take 2 seconds to appreciate everyone with claps, whoever participated in table topics. And thanks to everyone who participated. Now I'll return the control to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Abdul Rahman. Over to you, Abdul Rahman.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rela Lumbini, for the extremely creative and exciting table topics, which really put every one of us on our toes. In fact, I was waiting that you will give me one chance to speak. Okay. Also, the speeches were brilliant, and it was a learning opportunity for me as well from all the speeches. Thank you. Let us now continue with the theme of today's meeting, launching a startup without quitting your job. Well, I found there are a few tactics to make this possible. The first one is building a detailed plan and a conservative timeline. As the old adage goes, Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither is the next great thing. The more detailed your plan is and more conservative your timeline is, the less likely you will be overwhelmed if some deadlines get missed, as much as you will have some cushion to catch up. The second thing is, and I believe it's very important, block time for yourself and your family. Make this time completely protected and blocked, even if it's just a few hours in a week. Turn off all your devices and focus on what's most important for your life with the family. The third thing is be frugal. Now, this is not a time we go out and buy expensive materialistic stuff. You're working on 2 jobs, so you eventually can do anything you want. Wait for it. You have to wait for your entrepreneurship dream to succeed. At the moment, save as much as you can and hope the rainy day never comes in your life. The fourth point is get help, hire help. There are lots of consultants around and they can help you out in your achieving your dream. So consult them and get help from them. The next thing is you have to be very organized. This helps you to keep your track of your journey, to ensure that you have the control points in proper place. And one of the most important thing is you have to pick your partners. I believe this is a very, very important thing where, the partner has to be a like-minded person. A great partner can really save you when starting a new business. A bad one can make your life miserable, and it could lead that your project might fail. Do as much as research as possible before signing any agreement. Finally, document everything, each step which you are taking. Lack of documentation can really, hamper your progress. So this is what I believe the tactics to move forward in your journey as launching your startup while you're working on a job. Moving on with the regular meeting, we have the Toastmasters evaluation. How do we know what we are doing is right or not without anyone telling us? To talk about the good things and not so good things, in the speeches delivered today, we are moving to the very important third segment of educational session called the evaluation. To evaluate the first speech of Toastmaster Nisar, I would like to invite Toastmaster Sravanti. Toastmaster Sravanti.
Good morning, everyone. This is Toastmaster Shravanti, and thank you, Toastmaster Abdul. Today, I'm going to evaluate from a speaker Nisarg's speech, and one second. Yeah, I appreciate you, Nisarg, for giving your first speech in the platform of Toastmasters. To travel 1,000 kilometers of distance, the first step is the crucial thing, and you did and you taken your first step today, which is a great thing. And I liked your speech very much. For your convenience, I'm following CRC method to evaluate your speech today. And CRC stands for C for commendations, R for recommendations, and C for conclusions. For the commendations, at the commencement of your speech, you started with a question, which is how many of us are hustling to achieve our dream? The answer includes me also. And asking questions like this can make the entire audience interactive with your speech, which is a good thing. And you also show one visiting card that to relevant your concept by showing the objects that can make the audience to not to take off their eyes from your speech. And even though it is a first speech, you didn't stop anywhere. You gave your speech entirely with confidence. Coming to the recommendations, I want to give a couple of points. Foremost thing is voice modulation. Even though your speech is very nice and you deliver it you deliver it with very nice. By adding some of voice modulations can make it very beautiful. Even by giving hand gestures also, you can make the speech, you can deliver the speech very beautiful. For recommendation for this is you practice is the for practice is the important thing, which can make you to keep on the track. And for the conclusion, you choose the topic relating to entrepreneurs, which made all of us to think in the way of your speech. And you also inspired us by saying that we are all hustlers in our own way. You gave us such an amazing speech, but improve by practicing on voice modulations and hand gestures for the upcoming. And I wish you all the best for your upcoming projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Savanthi, for the excellent evaluation. I'm sure this will be helpful for Toastmaster Nisar in his journey as a Toastmaster. Now, to evaluate the speech of our second speaker, Toastmaster Gopal Krishnan, I would like to invite Toastmaster Suresh. Toastmaster Suresh.
Yeah. Thank you, Abdul. Yeah. Once again, good morning to my special speaker, TM Gopal Krishnan. Your speech is engrossing and fantabulous. I will break down my speech into two parts. First one is the recommendations and what went well. And the second one is improvement areas. The way you deliver the speech is wonderful. You delivered the speech with your beautiful smile and you are balanced throughout the speech. And the purpose of the statement is very well achieved. And the way you explain, you give the background, what is your passion towards the patriotism. Okay, in class 3, you explained the passion towards the NCC. When you observed it in the school, when your seniors are practicing in the parade grounds. In class 7, you joined the NCC, but unfortunately, you didn't got selected for the NCC cadet. Without losing your hope, you continuously strive to get into the NCC in order to get an opportunity. Once you get the opportunity in it, and you become deputy commander within a couple of days or months, I think. But you could have add little more drama to it. So by asking some questions to the audience. So what would you do when you miss the opportunity? Okay, so you could have, it would be much more engaging to the audience. And coming to the recommendations part, you would have utilized more time since you are allocated with 5 to 7 minutes. So you would have utilized more time and you can add some more content to it. And you could add more drama to it. And also your hand gestures are very good and you could have utilized much more. And you could also introduce the vocal variety. When you are delivering the speech, when you, unfortunately, when you miss the opportunity to get into the NCC cadet, okay? So during that time, you can add some vocal variety to it, okay? So apart from this, it is a very good speech. I loved it. Over to you. All the best. And moreover, you will be delivering the wonderful speech in your future. Thank you, and over to you, TMoD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suresh, for the insightful and penetrative evaluation. We would now move on to the reports of all the role players. I would like to invite DTM Kalpana to present the timer report. DTM Kalpana.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Today, everybody were watchful about the time and nobody crossed the maximum time. So let me give you the details. Toastmaster Nisarg, as speaker one, had taken 6 minutes 14 seconds for his speech. Toastmaster Gopal had taken 5 minutes 50 seconds for his speech. And the table topic speakers, Toastmaster Amit had taken 1 minute 38 seconds. Toastmaster Tarun had taken 2 minutes 17 seconds. Toastmaster Virendra had taken 2 minutes 10 seconds. Toastmaster Srinivas has taken 1 minute 20 seconds. Toastmaster Lindia has taken 1 minute 40 seconds. And guest Ayaz has taken 1 minute 46 seconds. And as evaluator, Toastmaster Shravanti had taken 3 minutes 13 seconds. And Toastmaster Suresh had taken 2 minutes 41 seconds. So because we all were in time, our meeting is also running on time. And with this, I would like to pass the control back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Kalpana, for the wonderful timing and noting down all the timing precisely. Next, I would like to invite Toastmaster Colonel Tarun to present his reports for both Accounter and Grammarian, the dual role. Over to you, Toastmaster Karun.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abdul Rahman. Firstly, I'll be going over the AHA counters. So today we had a wonderful meeting where I would say that the first hitch or the break came when Toastmaster Rela used so and was searching for something. Otherwise, she was flawless. In fact, she was so intuitive, and the way she engaged each and every one of us, I was thinking that I was playing some online game, Dreams 11. There was a barrage of usage thereafter. Probably she broke that dam. So, Muhammad Ayaz, in spite of the fact that you volunteered, I would say that that was a very brave, courageous attempt. And it goes on to show that you have the capacity and the capability to improve. Try and avoid using so, and then not, the moment we say so, and then we are searching for words, that is the time I, as a listener, get this idea that you had a void in your thought process. But if you are smart enough to bridge this gap within a second or less than a second, then this doesn't come out as an aberration. Shravanti, I would say that your usage of and O's, and especially the use of very, you kept on using very, very. So you were trying to give out that very beautiful, very interesting, very. So the very word was used multiple times, which later on started becoming as a habit. So try and use different forms of very instead of using the same, or otherwise go with the word. Your speech was beautiful. You were entertaining. Instead of saying you were very entertaining, you were very intuitive, you were very interesting, you were very beautiful. So very makes that thing looks like as though you are using the same sentence over and over again. Suresh today came out as a surprise package. However, Suresh, you have improved a lot, and I would recommend you must try and this kind of thing. I'm trying to search for something. So when you had the ready script, you should go over it, and those 5 points as a speaker, if you are able to, that you were concise, the clarity was available. I was able to see that there was a voice modulation, the intonations were beautifully interjected at the right places. I have my own style, a way of speaking. You can develop your own given the strengths that you possess. And my piece of advice to each and every one of us is that you will find some speakers pretty entertaining or interesting, or they have a very good command. Work on your strengths and make that as your foundation rather than trying to imitate or ape. Why? Because although plagiarism is the best form of flattery, however, I would say that work on your strengths, where you are good. If you're playing a cricket match or a badminton, what do? You play on your strengths. You don't play on your opponent's strengths. We are not opponents. We are, and another piece of advice is, I'm pretty sure if Shravanti or Suresh or even Muhammad Ayaz, if they were with friends, they would have never used this oh, so. It's a fact, matter of fact. And this is what you have to get over. We are all friends out here. We are not judging each other just because we are trying to judge so that we can improve our fellow Toastmasters. And none of us is perfect, me included. Next time when I get an opportunity, I'll be committing multiple mistakes. And that is the reason we are all here, to be a better version of ourselves. Now I'll cover the topics one by one so that Nisarg, as usually, was flawless. He used some beautiful words which I would like to highlight. Drive in, touch your senses using ours. Hustlers, love for the work. In fact, his short and sweet speech was interjected with a lot of such words, but these were the 4 or 5 of them which caught my attention. Gopal, he started off beautifully well, and his key thing was persistence. Nothing is impossible. And what brought to my mind is that next time when I think of Nike, I think of Gopal. Guiding force. The Toastmaster of the day was, as usual, with his resonating voice. He's our Amitabh Bachchan. And the way he took control of the topic and the relevance of that topic exhibited his passion. And I have one point: accept Toastmaster of the day who used passion multiple times and Nisarg multiple times. Many of us didn't use this word in spite of the fact that they had the opportunity of using it. Try and use a word which is given to you so that you know how to exploit and iterate with that word. You can use passion, you can use passionate, you can use multiple forms of this same word and use it as a filler in your, and whenever you're looking for some gaps or something. The learning journey, validation, product market fit. How many of you heard this word for the first time? Clock will be ticking. Financial pressure. Paint your prime. Professional development funds. In fact, the list is, you can't just leave at that. There is so many of these things. I must also compliment Rela for using some beautiful, insightful topics today, and each and every one forced the speaker who volunteered or was picked up by the Toastmaster or table topic master. And that is the beauty of impromptu or the extempore speaking. Thinking outside the box. Easier said than done. You name it, the topics were fabulous. And I would say that Amit was one person who volunteered and he was very cool as always. But each and every one of us, when we volunteer, we know the challenge we are accepting. And with a cool heart and a balanced mind, we can always achieve what we are set out to. Launching a without quitting a startup, without quitting a job was a beautiful topic. Rome wasn't built in a day. Overwhelmed. Cushion to catch up. Like-minded. There were innumerable words and phrases which were used today, and I'm pretty sure that fellow Toastmasters would have benefited by listening to speakers. And that is the beauty of this platform. Now I'll be handing over back the controls to Toastmaster of the day.
Wow. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Colonel Tarun, for the very careful observation and noting all the uhs, ums, and filler words throughout the complete meeting. Great. I'm really, really impressed. Also, thank you for the detailed report, carefully noting the usage of the word and also the good usage and not so good usage of the English language in throughout the meeting. Thank you so much. Finally, concluding the theme of the meeting, ladies and gentlemen, a job pays you for the role designation rather than for what you can do, which is why the compensation it pays doesn't justify your capabilities. You might be extremely capable. You might be doing a very, very great job, but in most situations, you get paid by your role or your designation you have in your organization. Owning a business sets you free to use your full potential and all the abilities and interests you possess. I have learned by being a part-time entrepreneur before I finally had the financial freedom to quit my job. I believe launching a startup while doing a full-time job completely depends on your ability to manage the time you have, the workloads you have, and the idea you have. This is what I believe is the key and the deciding factor where you can opt for entrepreneurship while you are in your current job. Thank you so much. I would conclude the meeting of today, but before that, I would like to go to all the guests and would like to take their feedback. I would like to invite Harsh. How did you feel in the meeting today? How was the meeting today for you?